We've got a full house here in this area for world politics, and a lot is going on the political landscape. And we'll definitely be talking about that and seeing what is happening. And one of the things that I can tell you, and I did say that I would be opening up with maybe a little bit of humor and some thoughts before we bring in our esteemed guests and get into these political discussions. But one of the things that was quite interesting is we do have people that are lining up their endorsements or dropping out of races. We do know that Mike Pence has dropped out, others have dropped out as well, but some are lining up their endorsements because apparently Rick Scott, a senator out of Florida, has thrown his endorsement behind Trump, and there are some other endorsements going on as well. But apparently people are targeting each other, and this is where I might be bringing some thoughts in and maybe even have some questions with definitely our great friend Rick Rosner, who is definitely involved in the entertainment lane and all along those lines. But apparently people are concerned about shoe size. And I'm trying to figure this out because one of the things that I was seeing was that they were concerned about the flats. And there's some people that are teasing DeSantis because DeSantis apparently is of a certain stature in the world and everything. And even Nikki Haley is giving him a hard time because apparently he's wearing some height adjusting shoes. So this is something that goes on in politics as well, is that sometimes people will be looking at the shoes and a number of other things in that way. You want your president apparently to look presidential, and maybe you can't look presidential if you're a certain height or all in that kind of way, and you've got to wear these shoes that might be like what some people would consider heels or all along those lines. So that's what I said when I said I might be bringing in some humor into this situation. I was also saying that there was a case here in North Carolina because we've got a number of races, including a race for governor, and we've got several candidates running. I know Josh Stein is running, but there is a gentleman running against Josh Stein, that being Judge Mike Morgan. And as I was talking to one of my friends who has done a political analyst and done some work in the political campaigns, and y'all have seen her before, that being Kelly Jones, and she may be joining us later as well. The campaign had already been announced because some of the announcements coming out were that he started his campaign. And I'm going like, no, I think he started his campaign back in September. But what I have since learned is that it was his first official campaign video, because videos are very important in a campaign as well. And apparently they were highlighting some of his growing up around the beaches of North Carolina and being part of the integration of schools back in the 60s and all along those lines, because I think he was born in like the mid 50s and in that space. But I'm going to bring in Rick, and I'm going to bring in some other folks as well, including Kim Calhoun and Jim Eade. We've got folks representing both the West Coast and or so some people like to call the left coast, and those that are representing the East Coast, or what some people like to call the right coast, because it definitely depends on how you decide to do your political conversations, even though North Carolina is a swing state and all along those kind of ways. But like I said, I'm going to bring in Rick Rosner because, like I said, videos can be very important and all along those lines. So that's why I mentioned the thing with this man that is running for governor here in North Carolina. We have another person running for governor that's got some very interesting views around the LGBTQIA community and a number of other things. And ironically, he may be a